Hey everyone, welcome back to Guild22, where we talk about everything and anything related to trucking. In today's video, I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide through the DAT load board and show you how you can book your first load. Basically, the goal for this video is to walk you through the DAT dashboard, show you how you can get brokers to contact you, and I'll even show you some hidden features that have made me thousands and thousands of dollars. Obviously, this video is meant mostly for new owner-operators and carriers. However, even if you do have a little bit of experience booking loads through DAT, I would still recommend sitting through this video and taking some notes because, as I mentioned before, I'll be exposing a lot of hidden features and tricks that will help you book more loads and negotiate higher rates. Also, if you haven't noticed already, this video is going to be kind of long, so to make it easier for you, I have put timestamps throughout the video, so if you are getting bored, just skip ahead, I won't get offended. Before we get started though, I would really appreciate it if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you're the first to see all my new videos. So with that being said, pull out your notepad, make yourself some coffee, and let's get straight into the video. Alright, so for those of you that don't know already, DAT is one of the oldest and biggest load board providers in the US. Across all their load boards, there are about 850,000 loads posted, I believe, every single day, which has made it the go-to load board for not only owner-operators, but also for carriers, brokers, and even shippers. Since there are so many players in the logistics industry, DAT offers a lot of different load board options to meet the specific needs of owner-operators, carriers, and brokers. It's pretty easy to get confused trying to pick the right program for you, so to help you out, I kind of made this quick guide that lists all the DAT load programs and who it's made for. So if you want, pause the video, look at it, screenshot it, do whatever you want. In the interest of time, we won't be able to go through each option in this video. However, if you're interested in learning more about a specific program and what it comes with, you can go to DAT's website and check it out for yourself, or feel free to leave a comment down below and I'll make sure to get back to you. Alright, so now that I've transitioned onto my computer, I'm just going to walk you through everything and show you how you can start booking loads. It's actually pretty simple and easy, guys, so don't worry, I'll walk you through everything step by step and show you how to use a load board. Alright, so once you've bought a DAT program that you like, you'll have to make an account and obviously sign up. I believe DAT will ask you to just fill out some basic contact details about yourself and your business, but when that's done, you'll be ready to use your new load board. If you guys were wondering, I'm using the DAT Power load board, and I would really recommend it if you're also a carrier, owner-operator, or even a broker. Alright, so if you're not already signed in, you can do that by going to DAT's website, which is just www.dat.com. Go to the top right hand side and click sign in. When you click sign in, you'll see literally all of DAT's programs, but we don't need to worry about all these other options for now. We'll just be looking under the load board section, which is right here. So just go ahead and click on the load board program that you just bought. For me, it'll be DAT Power, so I'm just gonna click on that. And this login screen should pop up where you can actually sign in. Just a quick tip, I would recommend bookmarking this page or bookmarking this login page so you can come straight to this page without having to go through all this sign-in process on DAT's website that we just went through. It's just quicker and easier to load up a bookmark, so might as well do it. Alright, so I'm just gonna go ahead and log in. Hopefully I remember to blur this part, and I'm also going to click the remember me box because this is the computer I'll be using to work on, and if everything looks good, just go ahead and log in. Oh, and real quick, as we're waiting for this to load up, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It's free and it really helps us out. So with that self-promotion out the way, let's get back to the video. Anyways, getting back to the video, this is what the dashboard will look like. Again, I'm using DAT Power, so if you have a different load board or a different load board program that you bought, yours will obviously look a little different and you may be missing some features that I'll go through in this video. So just keep that in mind. Alright, so whenever you log into your load board, you should have the ability to do three things: search trucks, post trucks, and search loads. Under search trucks, you're able to look up your competition and see all the carriers or owner-operators that are trying to run the same route as you. I personally don't use this feature that often because to me it doesn't matter if someone else is running the same route as me. However, if you would still like to know for some reason, if you're just doing some research, let me show you how you can use it. Alright, so under truck, you have two options: any or only. If you want to look for all equipment types running the same route as you, just select any. However, if you want to filter by a specific equipment type such as a van, a reefer, flatbed, whatever, you would select only and filter by whatever option you want to look at. So just a quick note, you can also filter by more than one equipment type. So for example, if you want to look for vans, flatbeds, and reefers all at once, you can do that. For origin, pick the city you're available in. For this example, I'll just use Phoenix. And for destination, or the city that I'm willing to go, I'll pick Las Vegas, let's just say. Oh, and by the way, you can also leave this section blank, the destination section blank, if you're looking for carriers that are going out of Phoenix to anywhere in the country. Likewise, if you want to look for carriers that are going to a few specific states as you are, you could either list the states individually like I'm doing right now, or you could use zones that DAT has created to group states together. I would actually recommend you guys use zones instead of listing a bunch of states out. So if you want to find these zones, just go to the top right hand of your top right hand side of the screen, click on the toolbox, and then click on zone map. When it loads, just scroll down a page or so. You should see a map and you'll be able to see which states fall under which zones. For this example, I'll just pick zone Z7 because it includes Texas, Louisiana, and a bunch of other states nearby. Alright, moving on. You have to pick an available date to filter your results by. So if I wanted to search for my competition that is going from Phoenix, Arizona to any state in zone Z7 today, I would obviously select today's date, which for me is February 15th. If on the other hand I wanted to search for carriers that are running this route tomorrow, I would just change this date to February 16th, and it would show me all the carriers and owner operators that are available to run this route tomorrow. I would just be careful when picking dates too far into the future, such as February 23rd or 24th, because doing so won't really help me out in any way. Not many carriers post their trucks as available for weeks in advance, so just keep that in mind. Also, not a lot of people know this simple trick, but you can also select a range of dates instead of just one single date by holding shift and clicking. Alright, so after you pick a date you want to filter by, you also have to set deadhead miles for both your origin and the destination. You will only ever have to set deadhead miles if you pick a specific city for your origin and or destination. In this case, since we didn't pick a specific city for our destination, we won't even get the option to set a deadhead filter for our destination zone because, again, that wouldn't really make any sense. For our origin, however, since we picked Phoenix, Arizona, we do have the option to set a deadhead filter. Usually when I pick a specific city for my origin or destination, I just end up using 50 miles as the deadhead filter because I don't want to see any loads outside of a 50-mile radius from my origin or destination. Also, if you're using this search trucks feature to do some research on your competitors, I'm sure you don't want to be looking at carriers coming out of Las Vegas if you're in Phoenix. So just set the deadhead to 50 miles. That's usually what I leave it at, and it works for me. Oh, and I feel like I should have explained this a bit sooner, but I guess I'll just do it now. Deadhead miles are the miles that you drive your truck without carrying a load. Essentially, these are the miles that you're driving that won't make you any money. In fact, these miles do the exact opposite because they make you lose money. You'll always have to deal with deadhead miles when you're working with a load board, but as long as you know how to negotiate with brokers for above average rates, you'll be fine. If you don't know how to negotiate or talk to brokers or anything like that, make sure you subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications, because that's probably going to be my next video. I honestly wanted to include that part into this video as well, but as you can see, just going through the load board and explaining all the little hidden features and how to use it was making this video long enough. So don't worry, I'll release a video within the next week explaining how you can negotiate, and I'll even give you a script that I use. Anyways, let's get back on topic. So I'll keep the deadhead origin radius at 50 miles, so I only want to search for carriers that are within a 50-mile radius of Phoenix. The deadhead destination box will remain empty, of course, and in the next box I can choose whether I want to filter by full truckload, partial truckload, or both. I believe that's pretty self-explanatory, so I'll just go ahead and pick full because that's usually what I run. So I'll just use that as an example. In the next two boxes, I will specify the length and weight capacity of my trailer. So since I'm really only familiar with vans and reefers, because again, that's what we run, I'll just go ahead and fill in these amounts. Obviously yours might be a little different depending on what you run. So I'll just go ahead and fill in 53 feet for the length and 45,000 pounds for the weight. If you don't like running heavy loads and you only want to search for carriers that run the same weight as you, you can decrease the weight, which will obviously filter out all the other carriers that are willing to run heavier loads than you. And you know what? As an example, I'll just use 35,000 pounds instead of 45,000. All right. Finally, the search back filter will show you all the truck postings that were made in the last however many hours you put in. So if you enter 2 in this box, you will only see the carriers that posted their truck with all these filters in the past 2 hours. What I would recommend doing if you're in the search trucks section is using 24 hours in the search back filter. I believe the max is 95 hours. But again, I don't think going back that far would be useful. Alright, so now that you have all your filters set, just go ahead and click search. And as you can see right here, these are the number of exact matches that showed up based on your filters. Underneath the exact matches section, you can see we also have similar matches that DAT has found based on your filters. I personally really like the similar matches feature that DAT offers because not all of our filters that we use have the same importance. For example, it might be really important for me to have the origin location be Phoenix with a deadhead of 50 miles. However, I might not really care if the load weighs 35,000 pounds or 38,000 pounds or even 40,000 pounds. So having the option to also look at exact matches and loads that might be just a little bit different than what I filtered for is really beneficial to me. If you don't like looking at similar matches when you search for trucks or search for loads, you can click on the settings gear on the top right hand side of the dashboard and click the hide similar search results option. You can also show results for locations in Canada by turning off the option below. I would highly recommend not turning off the similar search results option, but if that's what you want to do, then feel free to do so. Alright, so just go ahead and click close, and as you can see, DAT will provide you with a list of exact and similar matches of carriers that are running this route with the filters that you put in. Under similar matches, everything that is highlighted dark gray is what's different from your filters. So for example, I put my destination as zone Z7. However, this carrier right here left their destination blank, which means they're willing to go anywhere in the country, which is why it says anywhere. You may be asking yourself right now, well, how do I post my truck on DAT load board so brokers can find me and reach out to me and know I am available to pick up loads? Well, I'm glad you all asked, because that brings me to the next option you have on DAT load boards, which is posting your truck. As I mentioned before, I rarely ever use the search truck function. The first thing that I always do when I sign into DAT Power is post my trucks so brokers know I'm available and they can contact me. So this is the very first step I do whenever I log into my dashboard in the morning. So to do this, I click on Post Trucks up here, which opens this page up. And as you can see, we've already covered most of the boxes here in the Search Trucks page. So I'll just quickly fill those out. All right, so now that's done. There are a few sections here that we haven't covered, starting off with the reference ID section. A reference ID is a number or code that is used to uniquely identify a truck. Personally, I feel more comfortable providing my MC number or DOT number, or anything the broker needs over the phone. However, you could also put that information here. I just usually leave the reference ID section blank. Under contact, obviously this is how brokers will contact you. This field autofills with data that you provided while setting up your account, so make sure everything is correct when you're creating your account. If you need to change anything, I believe you can do that by going to your account settings, so just make sure you're setting up everything right. Unfortunately, I'll have to blur the contact info when I'm editing this video, but just so you guys know, I can see my cell phone number, my office number, and also my email. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pick my phone number or my cell phone number as my primary method of contact. Just a quick tip, I would actually advise all of you to pick a phone number under contact, because the broker will be able to contact you immediately and offer you that load. Whereas if you put your email or anything like that, they're probably not even gonna take the time to email you unless it's really important for them. And you just waste a lot of time. So make sure you have your number there, and you'll just have to get comfortable talking to brokers over the phone. And if you're not, remember, I'm going to be making a video on this very soon, so subscribe and stay tuned for that. Moving on down to the comments 1 and comments 2 section, you can just leave any additional information for the brokers that look at your post. I personally like to let the brokers know which companies I will not pick up loads from, what type of loads I refuse to carry, like lumber or anything like that. And sometimes I'll even put my email in the comment section so they can email me if I don't pick up their calls. So that's something else you guys should consider doing. Finally, before you post, make sure you turn on this bell notification right here. It will ring every time a new load is posted that matches your preferences, which is very, very helpful. All right, so when you're done with everything, go ahead and click post, and this is what you'll see. When you post your truck, brokers will be able to use the search truck function and see your post there. However, when you post your truck, DAT also searches for all the loads posted by brokers that match what you filled out and show all the results down here. Again, you'll see all the loads that are the exact matches in the first section and loads that are similar matches in the section below, just like we did when we searched for trucks. Also, before you start looking at any of these loads, I would also just come up here next to total results, or where it says total results, and adjust your deadhead miles and the load type if you need to. Before we move on, I just want to highlight a few cool features that you can use when posting your truck. So for example, I can click this star icon under keep to save this truck posting with these filters. So if I know I'm going to be going from Phoenix, Arizona to zone Z7 a lot, I can click the star icon, which will save my post so I don't have to keep coming back and re-uploading this truck every single day. Right next to it, I can also refresh my truck posting every 15 minutes. So every time I refresh, my post will shoot up to the top of the search trucks list that brokers look at. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to sit here and click refresh every 15 minutes, because remember, most brokers will have a search back filter set. I'm pretty sure they usually set it to about an hour or two, so it only means you have to come back to your post and refresh it every hour or so. So it's not that much of a hassle. You can also unpost your truck posting if you need to. I always do this when I've found a load so I don't keep getting bombarded with calls from brokers. Alright, so after doing all this, most new carriers and owner operators think that they can just lean back in their chair, kick up their feet, and wait for the calls to just pour in from brokers begging them to pick up their load. I really wish it was that easy. I really do, but unfortunately, you'll have to make a lot of calls yourself. So to do this, I use the search loads page at the top instead of just looking at the loads that show up down here. I like to separate all of my tasks. It's just easier for me to work that way, and it's a lot easier for me to view details about loads on the search loads page. Alright, so I'm just gonna go ahead and click on search loads at the top, and again, I've already explained what all these fields mean, so I won't waste your time going through it again. I'll just go ahead and fill everything out, and I'll see you back in a second. Okay, so now that I've filled everything out, I'm just gonna go ahead and click search. I'm just gonna go ahead and collapse this sidebar as well. If you're wondering, this sidebar is just another way to quickly edit your search. So instead of clicking edit and reloading everything, you can just pop open the sidebar, make some quick changes, but for now, I'll just shrink it to the side. Okay, so as you can see, exact matches are here, and similar matches are down here. Just an FYI, the reason there's not a lot of loads posted right now is because I'm making this video on the 15th and it's 6 p.m. right now. Usually there's hundreds and even thousands of loads that show up if I was making this video at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. Anyways, we're almost at the finish line, but before you pick up the phone and start calling these brokers about these loads down here, here's a hidden feature you should use to know how much negotiation power you have before getting into that conversation with the broker. The feature that I'm talking about is, of course, market conditions. Again, depending on the load board you bought, you may or may not have this feature. I think everyone should, but again, I might be wrong. This is why I always recommend new owner operators and carriers to not try and save money on their load boards. These features, such as market conditions, come in really handy and can make you 10 times more in revenue than the price that you pay per month. Anyways, you can access market conditions by clicking on this link right here in your search, and a new page will open up with a heat map. According to DAT, the Market Conditions Index, or MCI, is a supply and demand metric that provides the clearest view of where the freight markets are and forecasts where they're headed. Essentially, this map takes into account the load to truck ratio, historical trends, post and search behavior for both trucks and loads, and also outbound volume. To use it, just fill out this section at the top. For equipment class, I'll just pick van. For area, I like to use market area, but you could also narrow it down by state and even zip code. For time frame, always pick current. Assuming you'll use this map like I do, which is right before I start making phone calls to brokers. So I obviously need to know the market conditions, or the current market conditions, not market conditions from yesterday or 7 days ago or 30 days ago, or whatever other option that they have. And finally, you have to pick your origin, and like we've been doing for this whole video, I'll go ahead and pick Phoenix, Arizona. When you're done, go ahead and click Apply Filter, and DAT will automatically calculate the market for loads going out of Phoenix, Arizona. So as you can see, this index below tells us what the market is looking like right now. All you really need to know is if it's red, it means it's a hot market, which is good for us as carriers and owner operators. When it's red, it usually means there's a lot more loads than trucks available going out of Phoenix, which means we have a good chance of negotiating for a higher rate. If it's blue, on the other hand, it means that we don't really have strong leverage when we're going into this conversation with the broker, and we may have to just settle for the current spot rate. Now, all that's left to do is pick up your phone and call these brokers, just negotiate with them. Use the broker to carrier spot rate that's shown right here whenever you click on a new load. Obviously, it changes a bit depending on the destination, but just use it as a reference. You can actually get much higher rates than the broker to carrier spot rate actually shows you. Also, don't be afraid to tell a broker no if they refuse to meet your rate. I know for new carriers and new owner operators, it's really nerve-wracking, and you might find it really uncomfortable talking to brokers and negotiating with them in the beginning. So if you guys do want me to make a video teaching you how to negotiate with brokers for really high rates, just let me know in the comments below. Again, I wanted to include that section, or I wanted to include how to negotiate at the end of this video, but as you can see, this video is already getting really long and I'm really exhausted just from talking for so long. So if you've made it this far into the video, kudos to you. Again, I'm really exhausted after talking for this long, so if you don't mind, I would really appreciate it if you could like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss my next video, which is probably going to be that how to negotiate with brokers video. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.